Chapter 12. Another Attack. At 11:45 p.m., the ER was empty. Maxine felt exhausted. Shirley told her to go straight to bed. Maxine drove home with the windows open to let the soft night air cool her face. The cool wind made her feel more awake. As she drove into her neighborhood, the air became fresher, with the smell of flowers and grass. A few streets from her house, she pulled into an all-night grocery for milk and bread. As she got back into her car, she saw the dark figure in the back seat a second before a belt came around her neck and was pulled tight. Maxine couldn't breathe. She tried to get the belt from around her neck, and as she did, her elbow hit the horn. The loud noise made the attacker let the belt loosen slightly. Maxine got her fingers under the belt and leaned forward to push hard on the horn with her elbow. A young man coming out of the grocery heard the noise and ran over to the car. The attacker in the back seat jumped out and ran away. The man drove her back to Mercy Hospital ER. Shirley was still there. She called Grabowski, who arrived in 15 minutes, and began questioning the man who had helped Maxine. The young man said that the attacker was wearing dark clothes, black gloves, and a black cap. He couldn't say for certain if it was a man or a woman. Once he had finished with the man, Grabowski went to see Maxine. His hand shook as he held her shoulder. "I should have driven you home, Maxine. After one attack, I knew this might happen. I'll never forgive myself." "Not your fault, Grabowski." She felt sick. Her mouth was dry. Her tongue felt too big, and her throat hurt too much to talk. She reached for Grabowski's hand and held it tightly. Soon afterwards, the nurse came to take her to a private room where she fell asleep. When she awoke, Grabowski was sitting by her bed. Next to him was a vase of flowers. "You shouldn't have," Maxine smiled. "I didn't. These are from your friends in the ER. These are from me." He handed her some tiny pink roses. He pulled out a notebook. "I want to find out why the attacker was hiding in your car last night. Did you do something yesterday to make the attacker nervous? Tell me what you did after I left you at Cafe Italia yesterday afternoon." "Okay, but don't get angry with me." Maxine told him about meeting Dr. Singh. "I'll go and talk to Dr. Singh today," said Grabowski. "Maybe she'll remember something about Mae West that might help us." "Have you found the taxi driver who picked up Nanette yet?" Maxine asked. "Yes, I spoke to him earlier today," replied Grabowski. "He said Nanette was on the corner of 24th Street and North Avenue, leaning against the wall next to a doorway. She was holding her stomach. When she saw the taxi driver, she started waving her arms. I walked to the corner of 24th Street and North Avenue and looked around," Maxine said. "Have you been there?" "Yes," said Grabowski. "There's nothing but empty buildings and stores around there. I've asked one of our plainclothes police officers to watch the corner." "I talked to Aaron after I talked to Dr. Singh," Maxine said. "Aaron said he didn't go to North Avenue. He said he never saw Nanette. He's lying, but I don't know why." Grabowski frowned. "Aaron could have killed her. You told Aaron that you knew he picked up Nanette a few hours before she died, and that night you're attacked." "Aaron couldn't have," Maxine said. "I'll decide that when I find him. He isn't at home. The hospital receptionist says he hasn't been there for 2 days. "He's hiding in his lab," said Maxine. "He locks the door when he gets behind with his work, and he doesn't tell the receptionist he is there." Grabowski left to find Aaron. Maxine slept. Hank stopped by at noon when he came to Mercy Hospital to see a patient. He kissed Maxine on the cheek. "It isn't safe for a single woman to work nights and go home to an empty house. Why don't you go back to Marquette University?" I'm being attacked because of Nanette's death, Hank. I know something that someone doesn't want me to know. If only I knew what it was. Hank stood up angrily. You're a doctor, not a detective. If the police can't find out the truth, how can you? But I'm making someone nervous, Maxine went on. I'm getting close. Nanette is dead. Leave her in peace now. He went out before she could answer.